So imagine this. You pour weeks or honestly maybe even months of your life into creating this absolute digital masterpiece. And then it gets stolen the literal second you hit publish. It's incredibly frustrating, right? Well, today we're unpacking a fascinating and a highly detailed academic blueprint in this explainer that offers a radical new way out of this mess. We're looking at a proposed framework that uses blockchain technology to completely rewire copyright licensing from the ground up. So let's just dive right into it. Because, this really is the modern creator's worst nightmare. You pour your absolute soul into a piece of digital art, maybe a new track or a meticulously edited video. But the moment you share it online, you're risking immediate theft. Once your work is out there in a digital ecosystem that's basically built on infinite copying and pasting, proving that a specific file actually belongs to you, and, more importantly, getting paid when someone else uses it, becomes a massive headache. Sometimes it feels impossible. But what if the file itself could fight back? Which brings us to Section 1, the digital copyright dilemma. To really understand the solution here, we have to look at why our current systems are just totally struggling to keep up with the speed of the internet. Think about traditional copyright procedures. They require applying for certification through centralized institutions. And that system? It's incredibly slow, it's highly expensive, and terribly inefficient. It takes a ton of human and material resources just to push the paperwork around. Plus, these centralized databases are a glaring single point of failure. They're highly vulnerable to cyber attacks, server crashes, you name it. By contrast, a blockchain copyright model promises an instant, cheap, and decentralized alternative that just totally bypasses all that old-school bureaucracy. Moving right along to Section 2, Blockchain, the Trustless Solution. So how does this tech actually fix the structural flaws of our current system? Well, the core architecture of blockchain provides the exact antidotes we need, and it's built on 4 critical pillars. First up, it's decentralized. The data is distributed across equally positioned network nodes. So boom, you totally eliminate the need for an overworked, centralized guard checking every single file. Second, it's trustless, which actually kind of means you don't need to trust a middleman because that trust is mathematically baked right into the shared algorithms. Third, it's immutable. Once your copyright data is recorded, altering or deleting it is practically impossible unless you somehow control over half the global network. And finally, it's traceable. Through timestamping, every single entry gets a unique, unalterable digital signature that marks exactly when it was created. Section 3, Fingerprinting and Decentralized Registration. Okay, let's follow the hero's journey of a single digital file to see how the engine room of this new system actually works, from creation all the way to official registration. I know the mechanics look a bit complex under the hood, but for you, the creator, this multi-tiered verification process is incredibly seamless. When you upload your work, the system first checks its hash value. Just think of this as a totally unique digital DNA string for your specific file. It checks this to make absolutely sure this exact item hasn't been registered before. Then it verifies the identity tag information of the uploader. But here's the thing, basic tags can be faked pretty easily by bad actors, right? So the system goes a step further into a highly advanced third layer of verification. It uses feature fingerprinting. And this is brilliant. It's essentially the famous Shazam algorithm. Just like your phone can listen to a quick 10-second audio clip in a really loud coffee shop and instantly name the song, this algorithm extracts unique digital signatures from isolated segments of a multimedia work. It then compares those segments against an internal fingerprint database to detect similarities. This mechanism is an absolute game changer. It catches duplicates and plagiarism before a stolen file even gets the chance to be registered. It keeps the whole network entirely clean. So, once your file actually passes the test, where does it go? Well, public blockchains charge gas fees for storage, meaning if you tried to store a massive 4K video file directly on the blockchain, it would probably cost you the GDP of a small island. No joke. To fix this, the researchers propose an ingenious 3-tier hybrid storage architecture. First, the heavy lifting, the actual video or audio file itself, goes to IPFS, the Interplanetary File System, which is a distributed storage network. Second, the blockchain itself only stores the really lightweight, immutable metadata and those cryptographic hashes we just talked about. And third, a standard MySQL database is used to record local file paths, which ensures incredibly fast access for users. When you look closely at this underlying storage layer, it's amazing how perfectly these 3 tiers communicate to build the broader technical framework. The blockchain platform acts as the brain, managing all the smart contracts. The IPFS acts as the warehouse, handling the heavy distributed storage. And that MySQL database? It acts as the fast-moving logistics network, making sure the user application runs smoothly and quickly right on your computer or phone. The whole shebang works together perfectly to balance security, cost, and speed without breaking a sweat. And that brings us to Section 4. Smart contacts automate everything. Now for the payoff phase. Your work is fully registered and securely stored in that decentralized warehouse. So how do you actually make money off of it safely? Well, instead of drafting some custom legal document and hiring an expensive lawyer, you, the creator, embed your licensing terms directly into a smart contract. The contract dictates exactly what kind of license it is. Maybe it's exclusive, maybe non-exclusive, and it strictly enforces geographic boundaries, temporal limits, and the exact transfer fee. The code itself literally. So the absolutely crucial takeaway here is this. Smart contracts completely cut out the middleman. Because the contract executes automatically the absolute second the predefined conditions are met, like, say, a buyer transferring the exact requested funds, you get paid instantly. There's no waiting 90 days for some publisher's accounting department to finally cut you a check. And you definitely aren't bleeding massive percentages of your earnings to third-party administrative fees. It's autonomous, it's self-executing, and it is mathematically objective. Next up, Section 5, the immutable digital marketplace. So we've seen how this works for just one file. But if we scale this up to a global level, we get this incredibly vibrant, decentralized application framework. In this space, content platforms, individual users, and even judicial institutions all interact directly with the system. Creators and buyers trade licenses peer-to-peer. But honestly, perhaps the most vital part of this whole macro framework is the continuous infringement monitoring and evidence solidification modules. Because every single transaction and license is logged immutably, rights holders can track exactly how, when, and where their content is used in real time across the entire network. And the real-world impact of this exact kind of transparency is staggering. According to the source material, statistics indicate that since blockchain technology has been applied to copyright management, the number of copyright disputes has actually decreased by approximately 20%. 20%! That is a massive, tangible drop. It basically proves that when ownership is completely transparent, deeply traceable, and mathematically undeniable, casual infringement simply becomes way too difficult to get away with. So, to sum it all up, I want you to think of this framework as your new ultimate toolkit. If you are a digital artist, a musician, or a developer watching this right now, this model means vastly lower barriers to entry. I mean, anyone, anywhere, can protect their work without paying hefty institutional fees. It allows for direct global transactions seamlessly across borders. It gives you real-time infringement monitoring to just stop theft right in its tracks. And above all, it guarantees fair, automated compensation. For sure, these are entirely new superpowers for the modern creator economy. I want to leave you with this final, highly provocative thought to ponder. As this technology continues to mature and deeply integrate into our digital economy, if cryptographic code becomes the ultimate flawless enforcer of our digital rights, autonomously managing everything from registration to instant royalty payouts, well, who needs the traditional middlemen at all?